We're having a catch up with sports coaching coordinator Trevor Christian about the recent Isle of Man Sport Coaching Festival. Trevor, first off, let's start from the start. How did the weekend go, and did it live up to your expectations?
Ed, it was a brilliant weekend. Very stressful to pull it all together, but you need a little bit of stress for great things to happen. And yeah, awesome. It exceeded my expectations.
So take us through some of the things went on in the festival itself. And
Yeah, well, we had a Pact Program, really Pact Program, and it's expanded from our initial festival, which started last year. So we kicked it all off on Friday night, brought the coaches in, give them some dinner because we didn't want them starving, especially if they come straight from work. And John Mills, who's former director of coaching at British Cycling for nearly 20 years, he was delivering a UK coaching workshop. And it was all about, well, the title is Coaching the Person in Front of You. So we've got all sorts of different people coming into our sessions from different backgrounds, with different needs, different learning styles. So it's how can we as coaches make our session really approachable, really enjoyable, so that we're helping people who've got different needs and requirements and ways of learning thrive in those situations.
how do you then do a session which has a number of people within it that do have different needs and requirements? How can you tailor a general session to different requirements in that case?
Yeah, I mean, part of that process is understanding why those people are there in the first place. So, as a coach, it's important to connect with people. It's important to have those conversations so you know what people's goals and aspirations are. From there, you can then sort of tailor what sort of constraints or expectations you might have of different participants. Some people could be going just to have a bit of fun, bit of fitness, bit of activity. Even in that same session, there might be someone who's really looking to develop their skills, and on top of that, you might have someone who's looking to take their sport further in their future. So as you say, it's a difficult task to do, but it's a challenge for us coaches to meet those needs.
The impression that I get from something like this taking place as well is that you guys these days are very much of the mind that coaches are coaches and that you can all learn from each other right across the sports, no matter what sport it is that you do, and there are all sorts of things that are transferable.
Massively, that was my big mantra of the whole coaching festival. Really, we have a lot of generic content in there, so a lot of the workshops will benefit any coach from any sport at any level, and I think coaches can learn from anyone as well. So I may be a rugby coach or an athletics coach, but that doesn't mean I can't go off and speak to someone from football or from hockey or gymnastics and learn from them as well. I think it's really, really good if we can get out of our zone, out of our comfort zones, out of our environments and go and see what's happening in another environment, because they could be doing something really fantastic over there in another sport, and we can often get blinkered by our own sport, and how we do things. They could be quite traditional, or we've always done it that way. Hopefully we're getting away from that way of thinking, and let's think about how we can always be better, continuously be better.
Because we do see it at the highest level these days, don't we? I remember it was either earlier this year or last year, it might even have been both years, but Gareth Southgate, the England football team manager, has been out to the Super Bowl, and he's been out to speak with NFL teams and find out what he can learn from American football coaches.
Absolutely, no one sport has a monopoly on all the good ideas in coaching, so it's very important to get out there. And I think on the Isle of Man especially, often we see our size as a weakness and that stretch of water as a weakness to our development. But I think we've got to reframe that and see it as a strength. We're 30 miles by 11 miles wide, so it's not far to go anywhere, is it? If I want to go and see someone coaching in Ramsey, I've only got to go in my car and half an hour I'm there. And we can go and share some ideas, have a coffee and bounce ideas back and forward, and both of us develop. So let our size be our strength.
Good tight community, therefore, coaching over here. And something which seems to be really nice within the Festival of Coaching is acknowledging the work of people within this very tight community of coaching, because often that work, well, it's invariably unpaid and it's often unsung, isn't it?
Oh, for sure. I suppose that leads nicely into the event we had on Saturday night. So we had our second celebration of coaching, and really it's a free event for coaches to come along, have some food, be in the company of like-minded people who are all keen on their development as coaches. We had a good talk from John Mills, who took us through some ideas around pathways in sport and where you might find gaps and how to fill them. And we also have some recognition awards as well. We had a lot of nominations coming in for that as well, Ed. Last year it was Isle of Man Rugby for their link with Sale Sharks and the coaching program they put around there. They won the accolade for innovation and coaching. That was fantastic. This year we changed it a little bit, Ed. This year we put 2 categories in. So we had the accolade for innovation, which was aimed at coaching projects that are taking place, that are really innovating coaching and taking coaching forward. So this year we had 5 different nominations. So we had the Isle of Man Ladies Cycling and Andrew Roach, who leads that programme, nominated and shortlisted. And some of the work that they've done around bringing together a team of ladies in a coaching environment where they're all working together, bonding together and developing together. I think prior to that sort of structure, it was very sort of fragmented and perhaps people going off and doing their own thing. And like you say, we're a small island, we're stronger together. Other nominations we had that night as well, we had a lot of mentoring schemes from Manx Harriers and the Isle of Man Football Association. Both had their mentoring schemes nominated. And that's a fantastic way to learn. Again, having a mentor coming in, helping you in your environment while you're delivering your coaching session, asking questions of you, giving you feedback, and just helping you to sort of critically think and evaluate what you've just delivered. It's a fantastic way of learning. So coaching courses are great, but learning on the job is invaluable. So as well as that, we had Ramsey Rugby Club. They had a fantastic scheme. Their scheme was it was a physical preparation scheme. So how are they going to prepare their players for battle, basically, on the rugby pitch? And as you know, Ed, we've both played rugby before at school and battled against each other. It's a sport where you can have a lot of contact-based injuries, but also non-contact-based injuries. So they thought, how can we try and re-engage injured players who are struggling to get down to training? So they worked with Heather Melvin, swim coach, and they did a lot of pool-based work. So unloads the body, gets all those guys who can't run on calf strains and all the rest of it, and hamstring issues, and really brought the club back together. And not only did they use Heather Melvin, but her husband Tom Melvin, who's from an athletics background, was doing a lot of sort of injury prevention work, fundamental movement skills work, and running mechanics. So it's really had a massive impact on Ramsey. Really helped to galvanise the club and grow the club again as well. And I think Ramsey got a fantastic community feel there. It's a region of the Isle of Man I envy quite a lot, because as a town they really do pull together. It's great to see that sort of community spirit. So that was Ramsey's nomination. We had finally Manx Harriers had their Athletics 365 programme, and that's a brilliant initiative. It's basically like your sort of swimming colours that you might do, where you get different wristbands as you go up through different levels of competency in athletics. But what they do is they don't just look at can you run, can you jump, can you throw. They look at can you move properly, can you squat, lunge and rotate and brace properly. They also look at organisational skills. Are you keeping good training diaries? Are you arriving on time? Are you doing your warm-ups correctly? Do you have water bottles and all your equipment and all the rest of it? And it looks at the social and emotional and psychological side of it as well. So it's a real holistic approach to athletic development and gives those coaches a tool to help them deliver those sessions really effectively and keep people engaged. And they've had massive influx now of new people coming into the club. They've even got a waiting list as well, because it's really important to them that they have a good coach to athlete ratio, so that the quality of coaching is really high and not diluted. And it was Ramsey, the winners, it was Ramsey and Manx Harriers. They were joint, so we didn't just pick them out of a hat. We had a robust sort of section where we would look at what makes a good program. What's helping to re-engage people into the club, what is based on coaching best practice, what's athlete-centred, which program is helping coaches to develop their expertise, and we sort of rated each of the nominations on that. And it was a really enjoyable task to do, to see the great things that all these different sports clubs and associations are doing. And yeah, Ramsey and Manx Harriers came out neck and neck.
What's apparent to me when you speak about all this so enthusiastically and so passionately as well is just the real depth of knowledge and expertise that we have here as well for, again, a relatively small population.
It's brilliant, yeah. I mean, the Isle of Man is sports mad. We've always punched above our weight, and I think that's a massive reason why, because we've got this bank of volunteer coaches out there who really care about what they do and care about the people they coach and want to give them the best opportunity they can. And by going out and attending things like the coaching festival and the breakfast clubs that we have on, as well as all their governing body personal development opportunities that come up, that's really what makes the difference.
It was an individual one as well?
Absolutely, yeah. We had a short list of 5 people for our accolade for excellence in coaching, Ed, as well. So again, we looked at what epitomises a really good coach. Again, looking at all the things I explained before around CPD, re-engaging people, collaborative work as well by going out and seeing what's happening in other sports and other clubs and organisations. So we had John Whitlow from Manx Harriers. He was nominated. He's doing some fantastic stuff in field events. I don't think there's a field event he doesn't coach, and he'll coach anyone from any club. He really does share his expertise. We also had Andrew Roach nominated for the individual award as well for his fantastic work that he's been doing with cycling. We had Claire Batty, who's the netball coach. She got a nomination. Gosh, I'm having to really wrap my brains now. Peter Roberts from boxing, who's been doing a lot of work, and as well locally, he's been going away to the Northwest Regional Centres and coaching over there and bringing that expertise back and sharing it with local coaches here. So some really fantastic nominations. And Michael Owen, I can't forget Michael Owen from Motorcycle Trials. It was a very sort of I suppose similar to cycling, a lot of people going off maybe with their dad or their uncle and learning how to ride motocross or motorcycle trials. But what Michael's done, he's brought a group of young people together. So it's probably like 15 to 20 riders who are all training together for trials, and they're going off now and having some great success in the UK. Our winner, which again was difficult to pick based on the criteria that we used, was Claire Batty, and very deserved winner as well. Claire couldn't be at the awards either, and the reason she couldn't be there was she was off doing her level 3 netball qualification. So credits to Claire and the work that she's put in to improve standards of netball on the Isle of Man, and by the results that we've seen in the last couple of years since they've become a country in their own right. Is probably a reflection of the dedication of all the players and definitely the dedication that Claire's put into the sport too.